Hi, I'm Al Kresta, and yesterday Justice Anthony Kennedy spoke at the Ninth Circuit Judicial Conference and essentially said to the American people, get over it. He's referring to same-sex marriage. These were his first remarks since the Supreme Court discovered a constitutional right to same-sex marriage, and he compared the social reaction to the marriage decision with the 1989 flag-burning decision, in which the Supreme Court permitted flag burning as an exercise of free speech. In a few months, he said, the public outrage will die down regarding same-sex marriage, just as it did with the flag-burning decision. The implication was, of course, that the American people would think about it and discover the wisdom of the justices and then just kind of calm down. And yes, it is as arrogant as it sounds. Once again, Justice Kennedy shows himself to be surprisingly superficial. Apparently, he thinks the aura society places around the flag is similar to the meaning we find in marriage. This is the kind of mistake you expect an undergraduate philosophy student to make. Now, to get a sense of the difference, imagine a dozen men and women on a desert island. We'll call this a state of nature. In other words, they have no social or cultural prejudice or biases. I guarantee, within a year, some of the men and women will have paired off and children will be on the way. Something akin to marriage would be instituted. Would they have a flag? Probably not. And why? Because flags are symbols by which groups distinguish themselves from others, and here we have only one group. The only way there would be a flag is if there were two flags. In other words, if the group split into two, they might make uniforms or flags to distinguish one side from the other. The flags would be purely a social construction. The coupling of man and woman, the bearing of children, the formation of family, is not fundamentally a social construction. It is a biological imperative, which begins to lay the groundwork for a society. Marriage and family are the foundation of a society. The flag is the fruit of a society crafting its own identity. We already know that Justice Kennedy likes to muse philosophical, as in his Mystery of Life passage in Planned Parenthood v. Casey. He thinks he's a philosopher king, benevolently channeling the will of the people and then pronouncing the desires of the people which should be permitted and those which should not. But he's not a philosopher king. He's supposed to be a jurist, that's all. But that's for another video. I'm Al Kresta. Thanks.